Well, I did it again. I bought another car. And if you squint, it's almost mint. Not really. It's actually really rough. Don't even remember what year it is. 87 Camaro. I actually has been sitting for 5 years, but I didn't purchase this car as something that I was going to fix. I purchased it with no rims and tires because these are mine. It doesn't have an engine, but it has a ton of good new parts. So my 85 Camaro, I'm sorry, my 85 Trans Am needed a whole bunch of plastic interior pieces, the seats, and a whole bunch of suspension parts. And I found this on Facebook Marketplace. Probably paid a little bit more than I needed to. However, it has subframe connectors, all polyurethane bushings in the control arms. The rear end has aftermarket axles with a 410 posi, and I also needed the exhaust off of it. So between the parts that I've purchased on this car, it would have cost more to buy the parts than what I paid for the car. So what I'm going to do with this, strip it all down and see what's actually here. There's a lot of goodies in it that I didn't even realize. There's an air fuel gauge that works because, well, it turned on. I had to get the windows up because obviously they were storing it with the windows down. And just like all my old car projects, I get the joy of cleaning up dead mice. This one's particularly gross looking. There's actually a dead mouse on the floor over there, but nice big tack. It's got a boost gauge in it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if he had a supercharger or if he had a supercharger. I'm assuming it was a supercharger looking at the exhaust because it looks like he had shorty headers on it. I'm not sure. The transmission, he said it's broken, but it only has 100 miles on it, and it was a monster transmission. So we're gonna take that apart and see what's actually wrong inside. But I have 2 days before the weather goes from decent enough to be outside to, I think it's gonna be like 8 degrees for a high. So I have to get all the parts stripped off of this car, and I'll lay them all out and we'll go through everything that I get at the end. So yeah, the goal is not even to take it off the trailer, get a jack underneath it and just start stripping it, and then I can haul it straight to the junkyard. Well, I'm managing to get the front suspension torn down here. He did have new struts in it, like he told me. The ball joints are new. It looks like all of the tie rod ends and stuff were also replaced. The one thing I'm noticing he didn't put in new was the lower control arm bushings, which I know he had the arms off because there was pictures on the Facebook page where he had all of the suspension stuff taken out of the car and painted, but that was like 5-6 years ago or whatever when it was actually a running car. Well, so it's not just a sticker, at least it's definitely got a billet cover on there. I'm assuming this is a transmission from them that they rebuilt. We're don't know anything else about it other than he said 3rd and 4th gear quit working in it. It only has 100 miles on it. So we'll take it apart and see if we can see anything broken inside. But that'll be later, obviously. I'm still stripping the car. Well, I was super excited to find that, well, I don't even know if you can see it from here. Let me show you. Right up in there, looks like the sending unit was brand new. I was so excited because I actually need one because mine's leaking. Look what these morons did. They cut a hole in the floor. And not only did they cut a hole in the floor, they cut the brand new sending unit lines with rubber hose. Why? It's not that hard to take the tank out. And I'm so surprised they did this because I thought they took the tank out because they also did this. If you see how far in here this is, they rubber hosed it. They cut the filler neck off and put a rubber hose on it. And I thought for sure they would have taken the tank out. Well, and all the bushings were supposed to be new, which it looks like these ones are the red ones, and they are. But he didn't even replace these bushings. I'm pretty sure the only bushings they put in were just on this lower control arm. Yeah, this is definitely not how you fix your fuel pump in an F-body. They sawed this off. This is a coupler from Menards, so it's not even rated for gasoline. That's just like a plumbing coupler. They put a brand new stainless steel sending unit in so they don't have to worry about it ever rusting again. Unfortunately, they cut all of the lines in order to go through the hole they cut in the floor right there, instead of just taking the tank out that obviously somebody had already taken out because they cut the filler neck off already. I don't know. That kind of stinks. I was really hoping I would get a gas tank out of this and a good sending unit. I could possibly piece these back together with compression unions or something, but I don't know if it's even worth messing around with it with how much difficulty it is to take the tanks in and out. I'll probably end up just buying a new sending unit, but oh well. Gas tank's out of it. Car's getting pretty stripped. I've got the differential out. I've got all the front suspension off. I started taking apart all of the interior. I got the rear carpet out. I vacuumed a lot of this stuff off. It's pretty gross. I got to get in here and get the carpet out so that way I can get the bolt-on subframe connectors off, because there's bolts that go through the floor. And I think since I have to do all that to get the connectors off, I'll probably take this carpet out and power wash it and put it in the other car, just because the other car's got a big rip in it right here. So getting a ton of parts out of it. Some of them are damaged though due to improper installation from people who don't know what they're doing. Well, I've got the majority of the stuff taken out of it. I got it sitting back down on a pallet. I still have to get the rest of the subframe connectors off. I started to unbolt them and pull the carpet out, but I want to finish getting the steering linkage, and I'm gonna get it back down level so I can work inside of it a little bit easier. I did spend an entire day stripping it, but I've got some really good parts. These are AGX from KYB, adjustable gas shocks, new struts, like I said, all of the steering linkage, all that stuff's new. 410 differential. I did spin it. It is a 410 with the axles. Obviously the gas tank and the sending unit's kind of a downer, but I have all the plastic pieces I need to finish mine and a ton of other parts I'm going to put on Facebook and possibly up on eBay to try and sell and get my money back. Pretty exciting. It's almost stripped. One more day to go. Well, hopefully only a few more hours to go, because I don't want to spend another entire day doing this, because it did take me most of the day to get to there. Well, it's the next day. It's a bit windy today, but it is still nice and warm. By tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be like 22 for a high, and then the day after it's supposed to be 4 degrees. So it's definitely have a change of temperature here, so I got to get this car done. Anyway, the bottom side's almost all stripped again, except for the subframe connectors where I left off. I'm going to finish getting these bolts out. I got to get this piece off, but they welded something in here. I'm not sure what that was for, but there's a bolt that's hidden behind here for the gearbox. I'm going to get all that stuff pulled away, and yeah, it's pretty much strip the electrical, pull the doors off, and we're going to have this car completely gutted and stripped and ready for the junkyard. Well, I just took a second to grab a drink and wash my hands. I've got it pretty stripped. All of these parts I'm going to find a use for, or I'm going to try and sell them. The subframe connectors are pulled. I took every piece of plastic out of the inside. The inner wheel wells, I know I need one of those for one of my cars. The entire front suspension system's pulled. I took the gearbox, all of the linkage, center link, all of it. It was all pretty much new and nothing was loose, so might as well. I don't know that I'll use it, but I now have it. The only thing I'm going to get out of it yet is probably the instrument cluster and that aftermarket tack. I don't think I need the heater controls for anything, and I might strip a couple more wires out and possibly take the rest of the seat belts out just because. But other than that, it is pretty much a bare shell ready to go to the scrapyard. And I do have a different rear window that I'm going to put on, and I'm going to finish taking the last couple pieces of the ground effects and the spoiler here. So pretty exciting. Did make an absolute mess of my yard, but it's been a beautiful couple days that we've had to do it. I think I'll get a lot of money out of some of these parts. There's the doors are pretty decent yet if somebody needed them. All the windows and everything work. I'm keeping the door panels for myself, and like I said, I got all of this plastic to finish my 85 Trans Am. So, and about the gas tank, the real reason you never want to cut this filler neck, I don't know if I showed this part yet, they also cut the tube that runs up inside the filler neck, that's supposed to let the air get out of the tank. So I bet this thing was an absolute nightmare to try and fill after they went and did that. So it's not that hard to do your job correctly. These are a difficult car to take the tank out of. That being said, if you can't achieve it, maybe that's a job to pay somebody who can do it correctly. Just a thought. Anyway, I got a couple more things to pull out of here and get all my tools picked up, and we're gonna haul this thing off to the scrapyard. I'll kind of itemize everything up. I don't think I'm gonna do it in this video because it's probably gonna take me a while to actually go through all the parts that I actually have. But I definitely got my money's worth just with the plastic, the seats, and the couple other things. The exhaust. The exhaust was a big part of it. I couldn't find a cheap exhaust system, so no matter what, I was going to spend $250 minimum to get the exhaust done. So that stuff's in good shape. So pretty happy with my purchase. Like I said, I have a whole lot of little pieces that I'll be putting on eBay and on Facebook, and who knows, I'll probably end up making quite a bit of money off this. Did take me in like 2 days worth of my time, so when you factor in my time, I probably didn't make anything, but I got a lot of parts for not a lot of money.